It has been a very fascinating week. We've had this absurd situation with the I suppose, just basic rudeness from the Luxembourg Prime Minister, Xavier Bettel, to our Prime Minister yesterday. We've got challenges in the Supreme Court, 3 different cases going ahead in the Supreme Court today. And we've got the Liberal Democrats now openly saying in their next manifesto, if and when they agree to vote for a general election, they will, if they form a majority government, they are going to basically cancel the Brexit vote. How is it that how many days is it now? 40 odd days until we're supposed to be leaving the European Union. How is it that we feel we are no closer to Brexit than we were 3 years ago?
Well, I think, to be honest, it was always going to get to the point where, those who have been adamant that they do not want to leave are going to throw everything at it as we get closer to that leaving date. We got to the point in February, March time when it started to get difficult that Theresa May kind of bottled it, to be honest. And Boris has been clear that he's not willing to do that. People like the Liberal Democrats, the SNP, who took this case obviously to the Scottish courts, are pretty clear in their own minds that Boris is determined to deliver this thing, which is why they're going to throw the kitchen sink at trying to stop it. But some of the events that have been happening the last few days, particularly the Luxembourg Prime Minister yesterday, which I thought was just downright arrogant and rude, to be honest, a way to treat an ally. I can't imagine a UK Prime Minister treating any foreign leader in that way, never mind a supposed ally. Just makes me think, and I'm sure in the Prime Minister's own mind makes him think, God, why are we a part of this? Let's get it done and let's get out.
Certainly the way I view it as well. And in terms of, we just spoke to the Justice Secretary, Robert Buckland. Now, you originally, resigned as the Tory Vice Chair for Youth because of the Brexit deal. You thought it wasn't good enough. Do you think that Boris Johnson, there's lots of talk about cunning plans to prorogue Parliament a second time, to ignore this Ben bill, this requirement for him to ask for an extension on October the 19th if he doesn't get a deal at the European Council summit on the 17th, 18th. Do you think that Boris Johnson has found a loophole, has got a cunning plan, or do all the events of yesterday and indeed the Supreme Court today show that actually he really doesn't?
I don't think you can ignore the law. I think, Robert's right about that that would be a step too far, I think, for any government on any issue. But, you've got to look through these decisions very carefully. You've got to see exactly what the requirements are. We saw with the previous version of the Cooper Bowles, or whatever you want to call it, back in the spring, that actually it would have required the Prime Minister to seek an extension, not to agree one. There was a big loophole in it. And we need to look very carefully at what the Ben bill really means and what it restricts the Prime Minister to. I don't know what goes on behind the doors of Number 10. I hope that there is a cunning plan. But a lot can happen over the next few weeks. It's incredibly difficult to predict when, as you say, you have got court cases going on. You have got the ability potentially for Parliament to come back and meddle some more. And there's talk about introducing a law to try and revoke Article 50. There are all sorts of things that could happen. I think the more is thrown at the Prime Minister, the more people are intent on blocking him from delivering. Certainly in my constituency, which is 71% Leave, the more and more sympathy and support I see for him.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us.